Beneath the waves, a hidden intelligence stirs. The ocean, vast, mysterious, home to an abundance of life. We, with our land-bound perspective, often overlook the intelligence thriving beneath the waves. But in the silent depths, a revolution is brewing. An uprising orchestrated by the most unlikely of creatures, the octopus. Octopuses possess remarkable intelligence, rivaling some mammals. They are masters of camouflage, problem-solving, and even tool use. Their brains, distributed throughout their bodies, allow for a decentralized intelligence unlike any other. This unique neural architecture grants them an unparalleled ability to adapt, strategize, and perhaps even conquer. Recent observations have revealed unusual octopus behavior, hinting at a coordinated effort. Synchronized movements across vast distances, complex signaling patterns observed near underwater cables. These actions, once dismissed as mere curiosity, now suggest something far more unsettling. A silent uprising is underway. The question is, are we prepared? Whispers in the deep signs of strategic thinking. For years, marine biologists have documented the remarkable problem-solving abilities of octopuses. Their capacity for spatial reasoning, tool use, and even observational learning is well documented. But recent events point towards a level of strategic planning that is deeply unsettling. Take, for instance, the simultaneous disappearance of octopuses from aquariums across the globe. Seemingly impossible escapes, executed with precision and coordinated timing. Doors left ajar, ventilation shafts mysteriously tampered with. These are not random acts. They are calculated maneuvers, suggesting a level of forethought and communication beyond our understanding. Then there are the reports from deep-sea researchers. Strange rhythmic pulses detected near underwater internet cables, clusters of octopuses congregating around critical infrastructure hubs. These incidents, once dismissed as anomalies, now paint a chilling picture. The octopuses are not just observing, they are learning, they are planning. The ocean's silence, once a source of tranquility, now echoes with a chilling truth. We are not alone. Tentacles of disruption. The orchestrated assault begins. The first sign was the silence. A deafening silence as global communication networks went dark. Phones fell silent, internet connections vanished. The world, so reliant on instant communication, was plunged into chaos. Then came the blackouts. Power grids across continents flickered and died. Cities, once ablaze with light, were plunged into darkness. Transportation systems ground to a halt. The delicate balance of our interconnected world crumbled. At first it seemed like a global catastrophe of unknown origin. Solar flares perhaps, or a devastating cyber attack. But as investigations began, a chilling truth emerged. The source of the disruption was not some celestial event or malicious human actor. It was coming from the ocean. Reports flooded in from coastal regions, strange occurrences, unexplainable malfunctions, underwater cables severed with surgical precision, cooling systems of power plants sabotaged. The evidence was undeniable. The octopuses were responsible. World in freefall, communication down, chaos reigns. With communication networks down, the world descended into a state of panic and confusion. Governments struggled to maintain order. Emergency services were overwhelmed. Rumors and misinformation spread like wildfire. The lack of information fueled fear and paranoia. Neighbors turned on neighbors, fighting over dwindling supplies. Cities, once symbols of human achievement, descended into lawlessness. The fabric of society, already stretched thin, began to unravel. The global economy, so reliant on interconnectedness, collapsed. Supply chains ground to a halt. Food and medicine became scarce. The fragile order of the modern world, built on a foundation of technology and trust, crumbled before our eyes. Humanity, once master of its domain, was now at the mercy of creatures it barely understood. Desperate to regain control, world powers mobilized their militaries. But against the octopuses, conventional weapons proved useless. Missiles veered off course, their guidance systems scrambled by the octopus's mastery of electromagnetism. Submarines were ensnared and crushed, outmaneuvered by creatures who navigated the ocean depths with unparalleled grace. The octopuses, it seemed, had anticipated humanity's every move. They had studied our technology, exploited our weaknesses. They turned our own creations against us, manipulating communication systems, hacking into power grids and rendering our most advanced weaponry useless. The realization dawned. This was not a war we could win. Our weapons were primitive, our tactics outdated. We were facing an enemy that was both technologically superior and strategically brilliant. An enemy that had been planning this uprising for years, perhaps even centuries. With their grip on global communication and infrastructure secure, the octopuses turned their attention to the oceans. Cargo ships, once the lifeblood of global trade, were seized and commandeered. Shipping lanes, once bustling with activity, fell silent. The world, already reeling from the collapse of communication and infrastructure, now faced a new crisis: isolation. Islands and continents were cut off from essential supplies. The global trade network, the very foundation of the modern world, was shattered. The octopuses, masters of the ocean depths, now controlled the arteries of global commerce. They dictated the flow of goods, the movement of people. Humanity, once accustomed to traversing the globe with ease, was now confined to its own shores, at the mercy of the creatures who ruled the waves. The world as we knew it was gone. The age of human dominance was over. In its place, a new world order emerged, one where humanity was no longer the dominant species. The initial shock and despair gradually gave way to a grudging acceptance. Humanity, with its remarkable resilience, began to adapt. We learned to live without the technologies that had once defined our existence. We rediscovered the importance of community, of self-sufficiency, of living in harmony with nature. Coastal communities, once reliant on global trade, turned to the sea for sustenance. Ancient fishing techniques were revived. New forms of aquaculture emerged, this time with a focus on cooperation rather than exploitation. The octopus uprising, while devastating, also had an unexpected effect. It forced humanity to confront its own arrogance, its unsustainable practices, its disregard for the natural world. It reminded us that we are not above nature, but a part of it. In the face of adversity, the human spirit endured. We found ways to communicate, to connect, to rebuild. We learned to live in the present, to appreciate the simple things, to find joy in the face of uncertainty. The world may have changed, but humanity's capacity for love, for compassion, for hope remained undimmed. The octopus uprising was a wake-up call. It shattered the illusion of human dominance and forced us to confront the consequences of our actions. But it also presented us with an opportunity to forge a new relationship with the natural world, one based on respect, understanding, and perhaps even cooperation. The octopuses, in their own way, had given us a gift. They had shown us the fragility of our own existence, the importance of humility. They had reminded us that we are not alone on this planet, that we share it with a multitude of other species, each with its own intelligence, its own beauty, its own right to exist. The future remained uncertain, but one thing was clear: the relationship between humanity and the natural world had changed forever. The challenge now was to learn from the past, to embrace this new reality, and to find a way to coexist in a world where we were no longer the dominant species. The survival of our planet and of all its inhabitants depended on it.